We got our friend Jared waiting on us in line. It's like in the morning when you get up and you go to Target sometimes at 8 o'clock. There's like 400 people in line to go to Target.
Yeah,
at 8
absolutely.
a.m. So we're going to call Jared Target from now on.
All right.
Yes,
Target
indeed.
Jared.
Well, he's one of those, it's like when you go and they have, Christmas time when they have like that one gift everybody has to have.
Yeah.
Or on Black Friday when you got those old ladies smashing each other over the head with a purse so they can get one of those like Furbies or something.
Yeah, yeah.
Can't you see Jared smashing somebody over the head for a Furby?
Yeah, I could see that. I guess so, yeah.
Well, he went off to Philadelphia last week as a Giants fan, and I'm surprised he didn't get smashed over the head down there, but he was on his best behavior. I know Jared is a good guy, well-intentioned, good guy for sure.
Yeah, I like him a lot.
So today we're going to go back to Gulfstream Park because, as I mentioned, this weekend, big weekend of racing down there in South Florida. They have the Pegasus Invitational, millions and millions and millions of dollars at stake. Hopefully we will have a wagering guide. Should be available either later tonight or first thing tomorrow over at Guaranteed Tip Sheet. So while we're talking about that, if you're going to bet today at Louisiana Downs, you can head on over to Guaranteed Tip Sheet. There's a link down in the description below. So make sure you go over there, check it out. You can get all of our picks for Louisiana Downs today. And last night, hopefully you joined our good friend, the husband of our hostess, Jamie Martinez, Chili Willie Martinez. I'll be spending some time with them next week down in Tampa and Gulfstream. So if you're at Tampa on Wednesday next week, make sure you stop by, say hello. If you're at Gulfstream on Saturday, make sure you stop by, say hello. We're looking forward. It should be a lot of fun. Next week it's supposed to be it's supposed to match my hat in terms of temperature in Chicago. At 11. So it's going to be good for it to be 80 when we're down there.
Yeah.
Did you hit that $225,000 pick 5 at Parks? We didn't do Parks yesterday. Maybe we should have if we knew there was going to pay that much, Terry.
Yeah, we should have, I guess.
Yes. Shoulda, woulda, coulda, right? Isn't that what they say?
That's what they say.
Indeed. It's one of those. I won't go there. All right. So you ready to go to Gulfstream Park today?
Let's go.
All right. So let's start with race number 1. Race 1, this guy is 5 furlongs. It's on the turf. It's a maiden for $84,000. I didn't do the simulations because too many first-time starters in race number 1, as you can see, too many horses that, a lot of first-time starters. Just kind of hard to do when you got a bunch of zeros. 3 horses are scratched. Side eye, that's something that Terry gives me every now and then, the side eye. And then he gives me the side eye when I act the fool. And I'm sure that Jared got a lot of side eyes down there in Philadelphia. And Killing at the Spa is out. So with all these horses out at 5 furlongs on the turf, Terry, where speed does do pretty well because 8 out of 16 have gone wire to wire. If you look at the post positions, only 4 through 7 have struggled to live up to par. Everything else is pretty fair. So what you got going in race number 1?
Well, for me in race number 1, I like the number 7, Go On Mo. He is a first-time starter, has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. Then I like number 3, Make Suggestions. He's a first-time starter also. The breeding suggests he'll like today's distance and the grass, and he has a bullet workout on January 16th. Number 10, third pick. He finished 7th in his last race, but has an excuse as he was bumped at the start. He has a good workout on January 15th. And my long shot would be number 9, Cooler King. He had a lot of trouble in his last race, which affected his finish, but still earned the highest last race speed rating. I'm going to play a $1 daily double. I'm going to use the 3, 7, 8, 9, and 10 with the 2, 7.
I think you're probably going to wish you had the 4 in there, Terry. It's not my top pick, but definitely in my picks. Yeah. I like that 7 horse. I think that might be enough right there with the 7 horse, though, because one thing you know for sure in this game, you have a sprint on turf and you have a Wesley Ward horse. It's going to be fast. There's no. Yeah. I remember Chantel saying that when she rode Wesley Ward horses leave the gates like no other. She said you literally have to hang on because they generate so much force coming out of the gate. So I'd expect this one to live up to that Wesley Ward hype. Number 3, Make Suggestions. This one is a bullet and go first timer for Todd Pletcher. So bullet, that last workout before heading to the track, as we've talked about before, if it is a bullet, Barry Meadows in his book, The Skeptical Handicapper, found that is an alpha angle, one that wins at 15% and up. Number 4, Ben's Hero. This one's been steady, some decent workouts, getting ready to start her career. And finally, that 9 horse, as you mentioned, experienced horse with the top last race speed figure. And Paco Lopez is off to a good start. I'm going to do a 50-cent trifecta with the 3-7, with the 3-4-7, with the 3-4-7, 9, and 10. And again, we have a $100 budget. That's why it's called the $100 challenge, to see if indeed we can find some winners with our $100 budget. So no, Rich, we didn't hit the Wednesday at Parks late pick 5. Nah, he did. No chance he did not. If he hit it, he wouldn't be here right now. I'll tell you that. He would have been on a 24-hour bourbon binge, baby. And I can't blame him. I probably would have joined him. And I don't even drink. You guys ever had a horse using your all button suggestion? Rich Hope, he shares it with the team. Great job, guys. Thank you. If I ever had a horse using the all button suggestion, I do at times use the all button. And typically for me, and I don't know what your strategy is on the all button, Terry, but the all button will either come in a pick 3 or a daily double or maybe a trifecta or something like that. But only when I have a horse that I want to single, but not one that I want to single at like 4-5 or 6-5. I want one where I'm in a single where it's like 5-1, 6-1, somewhere in that line, and unlikely to creep down. And that's when I use the all button. So that way, if I hit my single at a good price, maybe I can get fortunate and follow it up with a all at a big price. What about you? What's your philosophy there, Terry?
Yeah, I use it in 2 different situations, on pick 4s and pick 5s. If there's a maiden or maiden claiming race that has 10 or more horses and it looks pretty wide open, I'll all that race. And I've won some pretty nice pick 4, pick 5s of doing that. Another one I do is if I have a race that's got, say, 10 or 12 horses, and there's a horse in there that's 4-5, 3-5, I'll go all in an exacta all, and then the favorite, and then I'll go favorite with all. So
you're looking for either that high paying backdoor exacta or the covering exacta to pay for your bets. Kind of like
it works really good for me, especially in Europe, if I'm playing the European races.
Excellent handicapping, guys, at Wednesday at Parks. Hey, today we're going to move on to race number 2 now at the Gulfstream Park track. Race number 2 today at Gulfstream Park in South Florida. Can't wait to the 80 degrees. I'll tell you, it's snowing, right? It's going to be 10 degrees. 80 is going to feel like a million. 6 furlongs, maiden claiming 12,500, purse of 21 grand. At 6 furlongs on that dirt course, because they have 3 courses down there, the dirt, the Tapeta, and the grass. On the dirt, they go fast. Early speed, 38%, go wire to wire. There is a slight inside 3 post position bias at 6 furlongs, but not something that's a deal killer for the rest, Terry. The first time today, we can go ahead and look what our simulations have to say. Again, this is 1,000 races simulated based upon using the speed figures, and then 1,000 races simulated based upon early pace figures to get a sense of who's going to be on the front and who is going to be maybe a decent value, Terry.
Yeah, and if you look at this race, the one looks like it has the most speed, but there's a lot of speed in this race. So it really just depends, I think, on who gets the best break and gets out there. As far as the overlays, if you look at that 2, that's a pretty nice overlay.
6-1 morning line, maybe 7-2 are proper odds. And a 7 horse, the favorite, looks like you might get some value as long as it stays above 6-5.
Yeah.
So now we'll look for the first time today at our Way to the Winner's Circle worksheet. I like to look at race shapes and see how horses have won or tried to win before, because it's a maiden race. So the E are your pilots. They want to be on the lead. The E and the P are your pilots and co-pilots. They can either lead or they can run second, third, within a length or so of the leader at the quarter-mile marker. Pressure horses are always co-pilots when they win, or the best that they've done so far. And that's a horse that's usually close to the front but doesn't want to take control. PCs are your versatile type, and quite literally, in some races, they can win from the lead, they win from the middle, win from the back. And then we have closers. These are the ones that always come from the back. And this 7 horse, Terry, does have a very strong late pace advantage, 8 points better than anybody else, and has a 13-point early pace, late pace advantage. Again, anytime that number gets 10 or above, I have found that the horse has to be in your picks. and you got the 3 and the 4 as your first-time starter. So this one could get out by itself and see if some of these guys can chase it down. What do you say?
Yeah, I like the 7 quite a bit. Breezy Connection. She has a highest last speed rating. Her best start speed is fastest among today's starters. And then number 2, Show Me Love. She finished third versus similar in her last race. Third pick, number 5, Amore Moon. She has finished in the money in 50% of her starts at Gulfstream Park. And then my long shot is the 1, Valiant Miss. She has a lot of early speed, so the cutback in distance will probably help. I'm going to go with pick 4. I'm going to use the 2 and the 7. I was originally going to just key the 7, but I decided that 2 might just give it a little trouble. So I'm going to go 2-7 with the 2-3-6-8, with the 1-4-6-7, with the 2-8-9.
So Charles in this race, Mr. E.F. Hutton, says he likes the 2, the 5, the 6, and the 7 boxed at Gulfstream Park for race number 2. I am going to come in with that 7 horse 2. On paper, Terry, it looks to me, I have 2 different horses than you do. It looks like a 2 horse race to me between the 2, the 5, and the 7. Those are the 2 I think you have to beat. Number 2, Show Me Love, third after a layoff, was the best in its last race, 3-race cycle today. Also showed some nice late pace in its last race. And finally, number 3, Pomona's Bullet. The workout on December 2nd and 17th offers some hope that this one has some giddy up and go. I would like you. I'm going to do a pick 4 here, Terry. The 4 with the 5, 7, the 2 horses I think can win this race with the 2, 3, 4, and 6, with the 1, 3, 5, and 6 in race number 5. And then to close it out, in race number 5, I'm going to close it out with the 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, with the 2, 3, and 8. A little bit of confusion on my part, Terry. So I put a lot of my budget into this one. That 5 or that 7 better come through in that first one.
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping that, the 7 for both of us. That'd be fine.
Yeah. Well, either the 7 would be the best because we can both. That shakeup good for rumors, and I was really hoping you did. Yeah, that's a good show. I like that guy over there too. It looks like I don't know his name, but I've seen the show a couple of times. When we hang up, I go over there every now and then and pay attention to what they have to say. Though I honestly I don't know because he hasn't. At least when I've been there, when he has all that red stuff on his PPs, doesn't really explain what it is. So I'm not quite sure what all that PP stuff means. On his post, all of his notes. So if he's watching, I would give you a little bit of a, I don't know what they are. So maybe it could be a good part of your show on the shakeup to explain what all of that red markings are on your show. Because I have no idea what I'm looking at when I look at that. And I think it could be helpful. Anything you can provide to help people become better handicappers is what we're all about. And I hope that's what most people are on the internet are about as well. All right. So race number 3, Terry, is 7 furlongs. And of course, we're always open to questions. If you have any questions or comments, like Jared, like Charles, please let me know. It must be Jared. My Google was. All right. Anyway, I don't know what's going on. They're having a little online conversation there. For 7 furlongs, claiming $6,250. Non-winners of 2 lifetime. The purse is $19,000. 7 furlongs, much like 6 furlongs, favors early speed, although only 25% go wire to wire. There is a slight rail discount post 4 through 7. They do play fair. A little bit of a bonus from 8 and out. And once again, our simulator says in race 3, there's a horse that maybe should be one that everybody's got to catch. Could be a little bit more competitive, though, up front this time around, it looks like.
Yeah, that's the 2. But there's also some speed there with that 5 and that 7. So, it just depends. I think this will be a very interesting race. Anyway, the 4 and the 8 look like they're the overlays, especially the 4.
Mm-hmm.
It's morning line less than 2-1. So it looks like 10-1's morning line. That's a pretty good overlay. So
yeah, so you got 8-5 is what the simulated odds say that horse is fair value. And just
yeah,
yesterday I looked through just to see how like the horse that was pegged as the favorite in our simulations did.
Mm-hmm.
I think there was 8-9 races at Gulfstream Park yesterday. 3 of them won, including the 8 horse in that last leg, which was 9-2.
Yeah,
and I think another 3 of them finished second.
Wow, pretty good.
So 6 out of 9 finished first or second, and that's just straight simulation. So no handicapping involved at all. So It's a very useful FTX chart. I'll tell you that. Sam Blankmanship could have benefited. And maybe wouldn't have gone bankrupt had he used our spreadsheets, Terry.
That's true.
So in race 3, the 7 horse is scratched. Everybody in this race wants to be forwardly placed. So this should favor either the speed of the speed, which to me looks like it's either the 2 or the 6. And then if they go too fast, the guy with the most legs at the end is absolutely that 8 horse over here with a plus late pace advantage. If you put together early pace and late pace, the 2 has the best combination, Terry. When you did your handicapping, which one had the combination to get to first on your list?
Well, I decided to go with the number 6. She's a gift. She ran second versus similar to her last start, switches to a high percentage winning jockey. She has the highest last race speed rating. And then number 3, my second pick, finished third versus similar to her last race, has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. And then number 2 is my third pick, finished third versus tougher in her last race, has a high percentage winning jockey and a good workout on January 18th. My long shot is the 8 horse, Disco Queen. She took a trip to Tampa Bay and won a race, and now returns to Gulfstream Park to try and repeat that win. And I see this a lot with horses that don't seem to win. They'll go to another track and get a win, and then come back and win at their original track. So it's an angle that I watch for.
And so Charles does on the shake of apparently the hearts and triangles. It's shorthand, and he has a video explaining. Maybe I should watch the video, or maybe you should promote it or something. Because I seen it a few times, I had no idea. And they do some good handicapping there. Chart and learn. The chat, and you learn a lot. So yeah, they do a pretty good job over there. It's funny to me because the other day someone took a shot at us, and comparing us to somebody else, saying that we were paid by the business. We don't make a penny, which has got to be about the funniest thing I've ever heard of. I work 16 hours a day, 17 hours a day sometimes for this stuff, and we don't get paid anything. And I just wonder why. And then people on Twitter are, okay, hey, you guys are shills for the business because you get paid for the business. It's just, it's borderline hilarious. But in any case, I learn a lot too. I like to learn as much as I can from other people so I can crack the code, right? Get the holy grail of horse racing. So I like in race number 3, the 3 horse, Provocativa. Trainer Rohan Crichton wins at a nice 22% when going from a route to a sprint. Did run quicker fractions last time, and that was at a mile versus 6 furlongs in the previous start, and maybe going to be better in that third start after a layoff. She's a gift. Just missed at this level last out. Did run a top last race speed figure. It was a peak number, but the last time the horse put a peak number in, it did regress out the next race, but not by a whole lot. So I do expect another solid effort from She's a Gift. The 2 horse, Match 10 Hair on Fire. Mach 10 Hair on Fire. This one's dropping in class, has some really nice strong workouts between races, and a morning line favorite, likely to be up on the lead there. And then the 4 horse, She's Out of Here, as you mentioned, in the simulations, Terry, 10-1 morning line. Looks like proper odds are closer to 8-5, according to our simulations. We had one just like this the other day at Parks that was 10-1 morning line, went off at 2-1. It was also 1-1 in our simulation odds and won pretty easily. And if there's anything we've learned from our FTX sheets, Terry, it's that you have to have the simulated favorite. I'm going to do a 50-cent try with my budget, 2, 3, 6 with the 3, 6 with the 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Good luck, Charles. Charles in race number 3, he likes the 2, 5, 6, and 7. 2 is possible. 8 can definitely be used in Terry's angle there. Waiting to see post-time odds. If he's 8-1 or better, he is a play, win, place, and show. So keep an eye out on that. That 8 horse in race number 3. Let's move forward to race number 4, Terry, as we gallop forward. Horse racing pun, silly. 5 furlongs on the all-weather, claiming $16,000. The purse is for $32,000. At 5 furlongs on that Tapeta course, tactical speed does best, although 34% of these have gone wire to wire. Small rail penalty. Everything else on that Tapeta at 5 furlongs is fair. Our simulation for race number 4 shows us that the horse that should have gotten the lead, JR's Pride, is on the sideline. So Bourbon Therapy That's Friday nights at the Jared home.
Yeah.
Bourbon therapy, right, Jared? Because we get him on our show for Friday Night Football. He's laying on the couch, and sometimes he's having some bourbon. So bourbon and therapy. That's why it came to my mind. But go ahead,
Yeah.
fire away, Terry.
Well, with that 2 scratching, that does leave that 1 to really have the most speed of any of the horses in here. So get out there and break good. It might do pretty well. As far as the overlays go, the 3 horse, that's a nice overlay. It was supposed to be less than even money, and it's a morning line 10-1. So
Yeah, it looks really low.
yeah,
Jared agrees. I got bad news for you too about Jared Charles. I mean, Terry Charles too.
What's that?
So he says he's going to take the 49ers in the points this weekend.
Oh, great. I'm good because this is going to be a tough game this weekend. I'll tell you that right now. They're pretty well matched, I think, both teams.
So, I think the offensive line is going to be a lot for the 49ers to deal with.
Yeah, could be.
Because they had a really hard time creating pressure where they got 1 semi-sack on Dak Prescott. And they really didn't get a whole lot of pressure on him. They're not going to get much pressure on Jared Hurts.
Yeah.
And the difference between Dak and Jared Hurts is when a guy's running 6 yards behind everybody, the ball's not going to be 15 yards away from them. And on top of that, if there's nobody open, something Dak doesn't do is Jared Hurts is going to run.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens.
I was dead spot on about what would happen in that game last week.
You were. I give you props for that because you called it. You said there'd be 2 interceptions from the 49ers would get, and they did. You said there'd be 1 takeaway by the other team, and they got that on that kickoff return. But the only thing, and you did say that the 49ers should win that race unless something terribly happened, and that's exactly what happened. They won that.
But if you watch the game closely, the Cowboys on defense were controlling the line of scrimmage because Purdy was under a lot more pressure than Dak Prescott was. And if you watch on the other side, the Dallas offensive line was basically controlling the pace of play too. Just Dak was awful.
Yeah, I agree. But then one of the things I always say is that the 49ers are really a second half team, and that's where they really showed it last week again.
Yeah. Again, if you watch the game though last week, you'll see there was 3 occasions where Cowboys wide receivers were 5 yards behind the defenders, and the balls were nowhere near the even though nice catch CeeDee Lamb made, he was 6 yards behind the defensive back and had to wait on the ball.
Yeah.
But, that's the game too, right? The players got to make plays, right?
It is.
Multiple sources say Aaron Rodgers going to the New York Jets.
Huh.
I called that last time ago. Kendry Flacco. Hello. Hola. How are you? Are you in Venezuela or Colombia? Where are you, Kendry Franco? Good afternoon, Sean Prince. Thank you for our top handicapping compliments. We appreciate that. All right, so race number 5, we went through our picks in race number 4, right?
Yes, we did.
All right, so I'm going to do a trifecta.
Wait a minute. No,
we didn't go through that. Okay.
No, so let me talk about my number.
Do we do this for race 4? I don't think we did this yet for race 4. So let's do this. The 2's out real quick, Terry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we forgot this. So that means the 1 horse over here now becomes the lone E horse, which could be extremely dangerous, although he will have company with the 3. That's why they're boxed off. Additionally, the 3 has the most late pace and the best combination of early speed, late speed. So I expect you'll see the 1 and the 3 head to the front. The 4, 5, 6, and 7 trail behind them. And if the pace is too slow, I think the 1 or 3 will stay there. If it goes a little too quick, one of these 4 will come in from behind, Terry. All right, now, since we got sidetracked on football there for a minute, let's go through and talk about horses.
Okay, yeah, I think the pace might be just right for the 4 horse. That's who I like as my first pick. He won his last race at Gulfstream Park, has a high percentage winning jockey. Number 1, Bourbon Therapy, which is something that I like to do sometimes. He drops in class today and has a high percentage winning jockey.
I used to do Bourbon Therapy, but when I was done, everybody around me needed therapy.
Yeah, I try not to get that
I didn't cause trouble. I was just crazier than I normally am.
Oh boy, but you're pretty crazy. So I'm glad I'm not seeing that. But anyway, my third pick's number 6, Classy Boy, which I guess that is you. I don't know. He has bullet workout on January 20th.
I don't think anybody's ever said I'm classy. So thank you, Terry.
I know I was being facetious.
Oh,
Anyway.
of course, he takes it away. So what he does is, the old cartoons where they used to lift the head up,
Yeah.
and then the moment that you let your guard down, pow.
Yeah, well,
Oh,
gotta
nice. What's that saying about with friends like you?
Well, I don't know. If I didn't like you, I wouldn't be giving you these kind of hits. So
yeah, that's what I say. I always tell Charles, I only joke with him because I love him, and you notice I never joke with Terry.
That's right. I heard you say that the other day too, and my head just went way down. Anyway, Classy Boy has a high percentage winning trainer, and the shorter distance will really be a benefit for him, and they're adding lacings. Now, I like number 7. It's my long shot, Gerard. He won his last race at Gulfstream Park and has a high percentage winning jockey. So, and I'm going to play a pick 3. I'm going to play the 1, 4, 6, 7 with the 2, 8, 9, and then single the 1.
Okay, all right. So now we'll off with the jokes and stuff. All right, race 4, Golden Talent. That's Terry for sure. That 3 horse there just ran the top last race. Speed Figure just needs to run back 1 race to that too, both of which could be good enough. And again, at the end of one morning line, simulator says could be as low as 3 to under 1 to 2. So that would be fantastic. But I'll take 10 to 1. Classy Boy could be better in the second off the sidelines. Does have a bullet between between races. I love that combination. And then you're going to toss in some Lasix. Horse has a lot of things helping it for today. Ticento, trainer Jack Sisterton, the 5 horse in here. He's a winner of 6 out of 14 races when he puts a horse into claiming for the very first time. That's a big number. Not a big sample size, but certainly a big result so far. And then finally, number 1, Bourbon Therapy. Trainer Michael Maker wins at 24% when he's dropping multiple classes. I'm going to do a trifecta, 3, 5, 6 with the 3, 6 with the 1, 3, 5, 6, and 7. And if you're considering some bourbon therapy, our friend Jared says Japanese bourbon is got bite, and it's mighty good with cubes.
All right.
Check that out if you're a bourbon therapy type person. Number 5 is where we're going to go to next at Gulfstream Park. Are we closing in on the first race, Terry?
I think so. Yeah, it's getting pretty close.
So race 5 is again 7 furlongs, claiming 12,500, non-winners of 3 in a lifetime. Purse is 24 grand. As we mentioned, early speed does well at 7 furlongs. 25% of the horses go wire to wire. The rail is slightly discounted, so a little bit of a penalty if you wear that one, like Hay Porter will today. 4 through 7 are fair. 8 and out gets a bonus. I think of race number 5, we do have some scratches in here. Yes, the 4, the 5, and the 9 are not going to participate, but the 3 horse now should benefit from a lot of speed scratching.
Yeah, that's right, because of the 9 getting knocked out of there and the 5. Originally, I thought, there's a lot of speed in here, but I think the 3 is going to have a good chance. I still have the 9 in my picks there, but I need to change that. I think I've changed it in my sheet.
Yeah, you can change it on the back end, like when I'm going through it, and it'll show up on this page, and it won't mess anything up I'm doing.
Yeah, I understand. So anyway, the 1 and the 7 look like they have the 7 has a little bit of an overlay, and the 1 also has a little bit of an overlay. So
yeah, the 9 looked like it was going to be a nice play there, and then they took them away from us, Terry.
They did, yeah.
Those people. All right, so race number 5 again. We got my 3D paper here. I'll explain why in a minute. The 5 is gone. The 9 is out. And the 4. So you see this race now. You're taking away a lot of horses that could have applied pressure to the leaders. So I think you're going to see the 3 and the 6 be the ones that set the tempo when the gates open and the dirt starts flying. The 2 horses, a PC type. Again, those are your most versatile horses. They can win from anywhere on the course. So if the 3 and the 6 go too slow, the 2 will put some pressure on them. If they go too fast, ride patiently. Try to sit in front of this group and strike when they come out of the turn for the trip to the wire. And the 7 horse of what's left has the most late pace, Terry. So take us through your picks. Hopefully you've gotten them updated in that little window there.
Okay, well, I like the number 8 as my first pick, Glorious Tribute. Finished in the money in the last 5 races, winning the last one and has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. Then the number 2 is my second pick, drops in class today. The best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters. And then number 3, Roger McQueen is my next pick. And it
You're
looks
not the
like
one horse?
beg your pardon?
Not the one?
No. Why do I have? Well, the one is my I'm sorry, the one is my long shot. So
that's going to be your final pick there?
yeah, the one will be the final pick.
All right,
And
so I
then,
got that right now. 8, 2, 3, 1.
yeah, 8, 2, 3, 1. That's correct. And I like the 3 because he figures to improve while he's returning to the dirt here. He didn't like the all weather. It didn't seem like last time. Drops in class, and this trainer wins 30% of the time when shipping a horse into race. He's never raced at Gulfstream, so we'll have to see how that goes.
And the no bets for you here, eh?
No bets for me.
Sound like I'm from Canada there. No bets for you, eh? Number 2, Camarito, top last race, speed figure, gonna drop in class. Likes the distance, been out at it 6 times, 2 wins, a second and 2/3. And last time out, a little bit better fraction. So a sign that the horse could be on the upswing. Number 8 is Glorious Tribute. Much better fractions last time, a lot better fractions. The only problem for me with this one is all of its races have been on either dirt or all weather. So you're not quite sure what it's going to do when it takes to dirt for the first time. Number 3, Roger McQueen. Trainer Larry Ravelli brings horses from one track to the next. And when he ships them from coast to coast, track to track, hits at 30% and 34% in the third race after a layoff. Plus, with the scratches, this one's the one that everybody will have to pass at some point. And then finally, number 7, High Yield Kitten. This one's going to drop in class after showing some improved late pace last time out. So maybe that can be the combination that unlocks the winner circle for High Yield Kitten. But I like the 2, the 3, and the 8. I think the 3 is going to be tough to catch. So I'm going to go $1 exacta box with the 2, the 3, and the 8. And I swear I hope I didn't go over $100 because I don't want to be admonished by Papa Terry when we're done.
I think you're just under.
Yeah, right. So I was really scrambling to get it done. I think I was like an 89 or something like that. I mean, I'm stopping.
Yeah.
All right. Race number 6 is where we're going to go next. Race 6 at Gulfstream Park on this beautiful Thursday. 1 mile, optional claiming, 20 grand, purse of 35,000. As you can see here on the Brisnet sheets, and we use Brisnet. 1 mile, it's a 1 mile turn, so treat it more like a sprint when you're doing your handicapping than in a route. 1 mile on the dirt course. Early speed, 28% go wire to wire. Post positions are fair, although there's only 3 horses in this race, Terry, because everybody scratched out. So you only have Rosie Holiday, More Glory, It Can. So you look at this, it looks like they're all going to chase the long shot and see if they can beat him. Why do I have
that's
that
right
in here? I think this is supposed to be the one for me too. So I'll
they
pick that too.
They almost canceled this race because they don't have hardly any running here. Another couple of picks, they'd only be 1 winner. So
well, they'd have a duel, right?
Yeah. So anyway, so the only overlay I see is the 1, but I think that's going to be changed. I think that's going to be the favorite now.
Yeah, it's going to be the favorite. It's going to come down to that. Maybe the 4 or the 5. I don't know. I should have maybe put the 5 in there instead of the 4. I am going to switch my picks around right here, right now, Terry, because of the speed changes in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make mine 1, 5, and 4 instead of 1, 4, and 5, because that 5 horse is going to have a little bit of an early speed advantage. Maybe it can hang on if the fractions are slow. Yeah, I'm going to go my pick 4 here, 1, 5 with the 379, with the 367, with the 379. With 3 horses, what's your logic between we both like the 1 first, so let's just go to the next one. Why do you like the 4 better than the 5?
Well, she's won 3 races in a row, and her best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters, has a high percentage winning jockey. Where the 5 switches to a high percentage jockey also and can improve. They added Lasix and blinkers for today. So
and it has some speed, so maybe all that works out. We're both going to do a pick 4. You're going to single the 1 here.
Yes.
I'm going to throw the 5 in there. I did have the 4 in there originally, but I switch it to the 5 because of all that early speed with the scratches. Get out to the lead, and the fractions are slow. They might not run that one down. And then I'm going to go 379 with the 3679 with the 379. That's in between a hot dog and a prime rib. What about you?
Yeah, I'm going to do single the 1, and then I'm going to go with the 349, with the 367, and then I think that last race pretty wide open. I'm going to go with the 157, 8, 10, 11. Usually, what I do if I have enough budget is if there's a lot of scratches in a race like there is in the 6th, I just all that race because you just never know with only 3 horses in there what's going to happen.
Yeah, it's like those horses, but you have too many horses in them, right?
Yeah.
Because the pace is going to be everything. In race number 7, they're going to run an optional claiming race for $62,500. Purse is 87 grand. The profile of a 1 mile turf winner usually favors horses with tactical speed, but 29% still manage to go wire to wire. If you do wear the 1, like Miss Marie, you do get a little bit of a bonus. 4 through 7 also carries a little bit of a bonus. All the other positions a little bit under par. In race number 7, Terry, we are looking at horses that a lot of scratches there.
That's right. A lot of that speed that was in there has been scratched, and
all of it, except for the 3 horse, right?
The 3, yeah, it's the only thing left. So if that 3 can get out there, you can maybe do some damage. There's actually the overlay is the only really overlay left is the 7, as far as I can see.
Yes, Miss Delicious, she's it. Yeah. Otherwise, everybody else has been on the sidelines watching this one.
That's right.
And when you watch the race take shape, this is kind of what it's going to look like. And I do think when you look at these scratches, the 16 not being in, the 14 not being in, the 12 not being in, you got the 13 to 15, and even the 8 is out, right? So you got a lot of these horses out. So what you're left with when you look at this picture is 1 horse all the way by itself over here versus a bunch of PC closing types. That 3 horse should be the one that they all have to catch, which was what we saw on our simulation. The question is who's likely to run it down, and that maybe is that 9 horse because it has the most late pace, and all the other late pace horses except for the 5 scratched out of here as well. And the 9 does carry the most early speed, late speed combination in the field. So I think the 3 and the 9 might be the ones to beat. Terry, how about you?
I do too. Yeah, the 9's my top pick. White Frost finished in the money in her 4 races out of her last 5 starts. She won 3, drops in class today, and Lasix being added. Then I like that number 3, Paris Peacock. Came in from Europe and finished 6th in her last race after leading for about a mile. And now with the shorter distance, she faded in the last one. I think it was a mile and 16th or something. I think with the little bit shorter distance today, she may last to the line and drops in class today. And then for Bramble Bay, my 3rd pick, she switches to high percentage winning jockey. She has the highest speed figure at today's distance. Then my long shot's the 5, drops in class today and switches to a high percentage winning jockey. I don't have a bet in this race.
Yeah, I don't have any more bets either because I ran out of money, and I that's that. So number 7, race number 7, I like the 9 horse too, like you, Terry, White Frost. If she's ready after more than a year in the barn, she looks like she's the best horse in the field. But the question is she ready? The 7 horse, Miss Delicious. That horse is the lone overlay, as you mentioned in here, and is a head away from winning 3 races in a row. So good form, maybe good value, good bet. Number 3, Paris Peacock turns into the lone E-horse with all of those scratches, as we mentioned. So they can go out and run good fractions. It looks like at 6-1, you're going to get – it's not going to be 6-1 when they get there because of all the scratches today and being the only speed left. I'm going to guess maybe 3-1, somewhere down in there. And then finally, number 5, Tal Beha drops from grade 3, a couple grade 3s, and faces a lot lighter company in this race today. And as you mentioned, Terry, I'm out of money, so I don't have anything that I can bet on our $100 budget anymore. But what we can do is go back to race number 1 because they're in the gates right now. Terry with a daily double, 3, 7, 8, 9, 10 with the 2, 7. I'm going to do trifecta 3, 7 with the 3, 4, 7 with the 3, 4, 7, 9, and 10. Right now, the 7 horse, as we speculated, that Wesley Ward horse, is the favorite at 3-5. And in the morning line, that 7 horse was 7-2. So the predicted line was supposed to be 10-1, according to the folks over here. It looks like the 9 horse and the 10 horse are the ones, according to their analysis, should be the favorites in here. And the Wesley Ward horse, whoa, he's even going into the gate with some excitement. Never mind leaving it.
Oh,
he hopped up in there. Wow. Speaking of gates, if you go to our horse racing radar TV on YouTube, Well, we've done some nice shorts with the gate crew over at Tampa Bay Downs. You can get to know them. They talk a little bit about what it takes in today's short to be a gate crew person. So check that out, the kind of talents and skills that you need. A lot of fun putting those together. And we're going to have a lot of great content coming up shortly from Tampa and Gulfstream. So the 9-horse did break to the lead. The Wesley Award horse did not break to the lead, surprisingly, but he's weaving his way around traffic. It looks like that horse indeed has some talent. Cooler King is on the lead, followed by Good Looking in Rags. Then you got Going on Mode. That favorite at 3-5 has now worked its way up to the front, putting a lot of pressure. The 3-horse is done, folks. I don't know what happened right there, but he's jumping around a little bit. I think he got cut off perhaps by the 10-horse. So I think you're going to see an objection there because this 3-horse is going to come charging at the end. Might have been the best horse in the race there, folks, but just ended up getting kind of hosed on the Wesley Award horse, and the 6 or the 9 are battling it out. And you have the 8-horse Cumberland coming at the end. And it looks to me like it's going to be that 3-5. It's going to go 7, 9, and 8. And I'm going to say the 3 is going to end up being in 4th place, even though the 10 beat him, because there was something going on around the turn right there where the 3-horse was jumping around.
Wow.
And if I had to, I would circle that 3-horse in your like horses to watch, because that horse had just a god-awful trip and still managed to be a part of it at the end. That horse, I think, in the end was probably the best horse in that race.
Yeah. Well, it looks like even though I spread out that hard favorite one, which was my top pick, I should have just did a $10 or $5 double from that to the 2-7.
Isn't that how it always works, though?
It does. It works like that a lot.
Yeah. I remember when we did the Turfway Park and Charles went all into pick 4 and he got the 1-1. And I thought that was the funniest thing ever.
It's very frustrating and irritating, I'll tell you.
All right. So let's not be irritated. Let's move on to race number 8, Terry, at Gulfstream Park. We'll take the W when we can get a W, right?
That's right. Yep.
So we're going to go back to 5 furlongs on the Topeka course. This one's a nice race. Allowance for $54,000. $54,000 is the purse. Again, 5 furlongs on that all-weather track. You're going to find tactical speed, but more than a third, 34%, are managed to go from gate to wire on the lead. There's a small rail penalty here, and 2+ out. They do play fair. And last night when I was editing the video today for the short, I was writing down my notes on my sheet. This is when you know you're tired at night, right? When you're when you're putting graffiti on your work. Speaking of which, in Chicago, they had this long project called the Jane Byrne interchange.
Uh-huh.
So when my son was a freshman, a sophomore in high school, they started this project. It was supposed to be done by the end of his junior year of high school, right? So 2 years. He started this as a junior. They started as a sophomore. He since graduated from college, been working for a year, and they just finished it, right? Just a huge boondoggle, but that's just payback for all the people who go out and do stuff for the politicians, right? And they just run up the cost of these things. Anyway, it's all nice new concrete. Looks nice, looks modern, clean, nice infrastructure. 2 days later, all spray painted.
Oh.
And I wonder to myself, how can you, and some of these things are like 12, 13 feet high, right?
Yeah.
How can you, in the third largest city on one of the most trafficked highways in the country, how can you paint something 8 feet high, 12 feet long and not get caught? I just don't know. Like these people have like a magic disappearing cloak or something.
Could be. Who knows?
And anyway, in race number 8, if you look at this race, I think this one's going to be a very competitive race because all but the 2 and the 4 have similar early pace numbers. So any one of these horses could really be on the lead. And all but the 1 horse have similar late pace numbers. So, this one I have a feeling is going to be up in the air. Terry, how did you settle it?
All right. Well, in this race here, I like the number 7 Clay Soldier. She won her 2 out of her 3 career races, and she finished 3rd versus Tougher in her last race. Now they drop her back down, has a good workout. So number 3 is my second pick. She finished 2nd in her last race, has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. Number 6 is Alternate Rock, which is my 3rd pick. She has the highest last speed rating, has a high percentage winning trainer, switches to a high percentage winning jockey, has a good workout on January 19th, so marks a lot of boxes off. Long shots number 2, Oh Darlin. She has an early foot, so her early speed style will help the chances at this shorter distance. And I made a $15 bet on the 7.
So you did have some money left.
Yeah.
I did not. I squandered all mine like a 7-year-old kid when mom gives him $10 to go buy candy or something.
Yeah, that wasn't my original pick for for the day. It was battle something, and I think the 6th race. So I had to change, and so I took a look, and this is what I came up with.
Yeah, we forgot to talk a little bit about the beginning there, but your Clay Soldier does look like it is the morning line favorite in terms of the simulations, and the 3-horse Hoax should give it a little bit of company as well.
Yeah,
I, like you, liked Clay Soldier, does have the top early pace, late pace combination in what should be a very competitive race. The 3-horse Hoax was better through the middle and later part of its last effort, and Todd Pletcher, great trainer, wins at 29%. Second time his horse gets a dose of Lasix and could well be the one that they have to pass eventually. Number 6, Alternate Rock, does have the top last race speed figure and some nice workouts in between races. Again, that's one of my favorite things to see, a horse that put up a really nice race. And then you see there's some nice workouts in between. And just a little bit of a story that Charles told us, some of the value that having a trainer on the show brings. He says when he would like to see with his horses, they went out and put in a good race. The next day or two, they're sore or so. But he wants to see them kicking at the door to get out right away. So the horse has a lot of energy. So when you see a good race followed by some workouts, that tells me that horse is fit, it's firm, and it wants some action. And then finally, number 5, My Lady James, could be the lone E-horse in this field with all the scratches, and does get, could be, there's no scratches here, but could be the lone E-horse in a competitive race, could get up to the front, is going to carry less weight today, and also gets first-time Lasix. So the Lasix and the lack of weight could help that horse carry its speed kind of farther. Terry bet the 7. Again, I'm broke. I can't bet that 7 or any of the other horses in this race. So we might as well move on to race number 9, the final race on that Gulfstream card. 1 mile on the turf, made an optional claiming for $50,000. The purse is $50,000. The profile of the 1 mile winner at Gulfstream Park has tactical speed. A third of them, almost 29%, 30% go wire to wire. A little bit of a bonus if you're Apple lover today on the rail, and 4 through 7. Every other one gets a little bit of a discount. Again, not deal killers, Terry. Let's take a look at the last race of the day. And the simulator says Storm will be storming.
That's right. It shows lots and lots of speed, dirty speed. So it could go all the way. But the 7 and the 9 are the ones that seem to have a pretty good overlay. So
indeed, they do look like they have some value in there. That 7-horse, 8-1 morning line simulator says could be value as low as 3 to 5. That 9-horse all the way down to 5 to 2 looks bettable, and that's the one that should be in second place when they come out of the gates. And then the last way to the winner's circle today, you have some first-time starters in here, the 2, the 3, and the 4. So you don't know what they're going to bring to the table. The down arrows are horses that are moving down in class in this maiden optional race. And indeed, the 7 is going to be on the lead. Has a 7-point lead at the quarter mile marker. 7 for every 5 points equals roughly 1 length, according to Craig Milikowski from Timeform USA. And if you stretch that out to the half-mile marker, that 7 has a 14-point, maybe as much as 2.5, 3 lengths ahead of everybody else. And that's without running any faster than it has to. So I do think the 7 is going to be on the front, Terry. I do think it's going to be clearly on the front. The question is, will it be clearly on the front when the race goes official?
Well, I think you're right. It's going to be on the front and could go all the way. But I really think that maybe Apple Lover, the one who ran second in her debut race, will pick up the 7 at the end there. And she has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. And the 7 Storm, she finished in the money in both of her career races at Gulfstream Park. She finished third on the dirt in her last race, and she can improve because they've added Lasix. And then number 11, Take It South, is a closer, finishing second in her last race at Gulfstream Park, and has a high percentage winning jockey and trainer. I like number 10 as my long shot, and she drops in class today. She switches to a high percentage winning jockey. And the jockey trainer combination in the last 14 days has been perfect, winning 3 out of 3 starts. No bet.
No bet. I am going to start with that 7 horse. You're going to have to pass it at some point, and I'm not so sure anybody will. A big advantage through the first half mile, competitive field, and also one that has reasons to improve in the second start off the sidelines. The 9 horse Evie Does It, very consistent performer. Also has some early speed in here, but also does have the ability to close at the end. So I think this one could be up front and have enough late legs to get by the 7 at the end, especially getting that first dose of Lasix here today. Number 3, Planet Frolic. What's interesting to me about this horse, Terry, is that he rode the 1 last time out. And he gets off the 1 to ride the 3, who is a first-time starter. And Jose has been off to a very good start at Gulfstream Park. That was something to keep an eye on there. And again, Jamie, she did upload a short from when Jose was on the show with Sean and I for Horse Center. And we asked him that question specifically when it comes to when you've ridden a horse before and you're riding a horse today that's different from that last one, who has to say? You, your jockey's agent, the trainer, the owner, and he walked us through that whole thing. So make sure you go check that out. Excellent selection on that, Jamie. And then finally, number 10, Our Rose All Day. Does have the top last race speed figure, dropping in class, and was a tough call for me over year 1. But what made the difference for me is when Jose got off that 1 to ride the 3, I thought, follow Jose because the jockeys are going to go where they think they're going to make money. At least that's my opinion.
Yep.
And then that wraps up all of our picks today for the Gulfstream Park card. Here's what they look like on the entire card today. If you like what you saw, please give us a thumbs up on Facebook. Thank you, Jamie Martinez, for that. We appreciate it. Also on YouTube, if you haven't done so already, kindly hit the subscribe button and the bell so you're notified when we go live. You're going to want to be notified tonight because if you do those horse racing contests like Terry and I do, and Chris Parmalu, who will join us for tonight's show, you're going to want to tune in tonight for Scott Fiedler. He wins lots and lots of money in these contests. I'm talking about commas, right, Terry? So
yeah.
He wins these contests pretty regularly. He's going to come on tonight at 8:30 p.m. Eastern and tell us exactly how he does it. He's going to share that information with us, which I'm, for selfish reasons, I don't care if it's just me and Chris on the show because I want to learn what it takes to win one of these things. I still want to go to Vegas. And I wouldn't mind cashing a $45,000 check now and then for a $12 entry fee. What about you, Terry?
Oh, yeah. It'd be absolutely wonderful. I'm going to watch this for sure. So.
Indeed, yes. So make sure you bookmark that. Again, best way to make sure you don't miss it, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell. And if any of your friends play in these competitions, let them know. You don't see many shows like that, and that's what we're going to bring to the table here. If you like what you saw, again, one of the other ways you can help support us is go over to horseracingtoday.net, click on the HRT gear link, and right now you get 20% off the stuff. And if you got baby blues like Terry does and you get that number 3, it's going to complement you perfectly.
Yep.
If you have a horse friend in the family, you're trying to figure out that difficult gift, and Winning Touches, Equestrian Gifts, got a lot of beautiful stuff in there. If you haven't checked it out, at least go window shopping. There's a link down in the description down below. Check out some of the cool stuff in there. I went down that proverbial rabbit hole looking at all the different things in here and made a list of about 20 things I would like to get. But I'll settle on a few. And finally, to help pay for all that stuff, maybe you might want to do the picks with the professors, college basketball plays. You can watch those on TikTok. You can check out Jamie's channel on TikTok, Horse Racing Today's channel on TikTok, all of our social media sites. It's a lot of fun, and you're going to want to stay tuned in 2023. I promise you, we're going to bring you some fantastic, fantastic content that you're not going to find anywhere else. I mean, Jamie and I were talking about this morning about doing something that's really cool by email. And I think when we unload this one, it's going to be funny, really funny.
Oh.
But anyway.
Sounds good.
All right, Terry, any final thoughts before we get out of here on this trifecta Terry Thursday?
Yeah, my final thought is I hope you have a really good trip next week. And I'll see you on Monday. Mm-hmm. And then I hope everybody does well and has a good week the rest of the week. So.
Yes, indeed. Next week, Terry, I won't be here on Tuesday or Wednesday because I'll be traveling from Chicago to Florida on Tuesday. On Wednesday, we'll be at the track with Jamie, my daughter, and I don't know if Willie's going to be there or not. Hopefully, it'll be fun. The more, the merrier. So again, if you're at Tampa on Wednesday, stop by, say hi. Thursday or Saturday down at Gulfstream, stop by, say hi. We'll look forward to that. So it's going to be Charles and Terry. And if the 49ers win, you might not get one single horse pick and all that.
That might be right. You know, I know when I had my business, if the 49ers lost, I had 2 or 3 of my employees that were so fanatic about it, they would just not come in on Monday. So anyway, but if you like what you saw, subscribe to YouTube and give us a thumbs up there. Follow us on Twitter at the Horse Race, the number 2 day, Facebook at Horse Race, the number 2 day, TikTok, the Horse Race number 2 day, and Instagram.
And I tried to get all the stuff to be the same, but YouTube told me no. So there you go. All right, folks, thanks for joining us today. There won't be a show tomorrow. Thomas will be out. Saturday, I'll be getting prepared. Maybe we'll do something Saturday. Right now, I'd say it's at best 50-50. Until we get together again, we hope that every single thing that you do ends up in one place, and that can quite only be our good friend, Jay Marco's
Winner's Circle.
Yes, indeed. Have a fantastic Thursday, folks.